Hello, today I'm here to talk with you about the Trecena of Ix. And as you can see, it's a little bit of a change to the usual program in that I wasn't really able to find somewhere suitable for making a video today, so I thought that I'd make you a little montage, let's say. I really see the Trecena of Ix's connection with the sacred sites. Ix is all about those sacred places, those altars, those shrines where we make our offerings to Mother Earth. And so I thought a nice collection of sacred sites would be a wonderful way to journey through this Trecena. So what else about the Trecena of Ix? Well, Ix can be our connection with the spirit of the Mother Earth herself. It reminds us of our obligations to look after her. It reminds us of how we connect to the magic of Mother Earth. And in turn, it helps to bring out our own magic as well. And so if we see this as 13 days of renewal of that connection, of renewal of our magic in one way or another, a renewal of our connection to the Mother Earth, our connection to the Divine Feminine, and our connection to the sacred sites, this could be a very powerful Trecena indeed. So we're going to start the Trecena on the day 1 Ix. Here we have Ix, of course, and here we have a picture of the Temple of the Grand Jaguar at Tikal, Temple of the Great Jaguar. What a day to be using this picture for, the 1 Ix. Because really, this, kind of like the sheer size of these temples and this kind of thing, this is the potential of the Jaguar. And this like 1 Ix, the one being very much like the seed. It contains all the potential. But we got to put it in the right place to make it grow. If that seed is in a jar on the shelf, it's not going to be able to exhibit its potential or to grow to its potential. It needs to be somewhere warm. It needs to be somewhere, where it can receive rainfall and that. And, if we're talking about the connection with Mother Earth, we're talking about the connection with the sacred, and one is about our potential, we need to be those seeds which are put in the right places to fulfill that potential. And so, of course, 1 Ix might be a wonderful day to visit a sacred site, to visit your own sacred site, as it were, your altar, your shrine, wherever it is that you connect with Mother Earth, in order to reinitiate, in order to maybe to begin again, in order to reaffirm your vows to her, to looking after her, and perhaps even, to understand the true potential that comes when we start to engage with the earth and start to engage with our own magic. From 1 Ix, we then move to 2 Tzichin. 2 Tzichin, Tzichin, the Nawal of the visionary. Tzichin, the one who sees the future. The one who helps society to prosper by envisaging what it is to come. With Tzichin, we also see there is a magical element. Tzichin representing our connection to the sky, to the great bird deity. And here we see on this slide Temple 33 at Yaxchilan. Now this is dedicated to a king called Bird Jaguar 4. And I thought, well, Tzichin in the Trecena of Ix, that's Bird Jaguar. So I thought this would be an appropriate slide to go in here. So to Tzichin, how can we best use that? What are we going to use it for? Well, the number 2 can very much represent polarities. It can represent dualities. And, for me, if we're looking at this understanding of, our connection with the Mother Earth, if we're looking at this understanding of our connection with our magic, we also have to look at it as like, right, okay, where is the vision taking us, and where do we choose not for the vision to take us? It's kind of like the dualism that comes in through the number 2 could be very much seen as giving us the opportunity to make our decisions about which vision we choose. Now, I often talk about Zikin being the visionary who's looking, 10, 15, 20 years into the future. Zikin can also be connected with prosperity, but for me, this is not a short-term, unsustainable thing. This is a time when we're looking at like, right, okay, how is it going to affect the future for our planet, for our children, that kind of thing. This might be something that we're coming into very sharp focus on this day 2 Tzichin, because it could give you an understanding of a path which will, kind of like not lead to your vision, and one which will. A one which will, kind of like not lead to the prosperity of Mother Earth, and one which will. That may well become very apparent on Tutikin, and it's up to us to choose what is sustainable, what is coherent, what is, kind of like in harmony with the way that we wish to go forwards, what is in harmony with the way that we wish to look after Mother Earth. These kind of things may come up on the day 2 Tsikin. And, I like to give this idea, if Tsikin is about looking and the 2 is about polarities, we could say that tu Tsikin could be about really seeing things in black and white and making your choice as to which route you wish to align yourself for, which one helps or brings the most potential for your connection with the Mother Earth and for your magic to grow. From 2 Tsikin, we then move to 3 Achmach, and here we see a temple of the inscriptions at Palenque. Achmach representing the human being, there's a connection with the ancestors through Achmach as well, with the first men. Achmach reminds us of what it is to be human. And, of course, that we could have this figure where we're holding up our hands saying, well, look, I'm only human. Of course, that's part of it. Another part of it is, look at what these humans have created. From these slides that you see, look at the beauty of these temples. Look at the beauty of this calendar. This is also something which the humans have brought into this world, as it were. Achmach, of course, is also very strongly linked with forgiveness. It's very strongly linked with understanding that we're all human, that we have to accept ourselves and others for exactly who we are. Now, this is the beauty, the sweetness that comes from Achmach. And here we see it with the number 3, and the number 3 I see very much as a day about going inside. So whereas normally Achmach might be a day of forgiveness of others, 3 Achmach I really see as a day of forgiveness of ourselves. Because, we are the ones that we can't hide from, right? We can, kind of like do whatever we need to do to appear whatever way we want to appear to others, but we can't hide from ourselves. And sometimes those, kind of like incidents that we might feel shame or blame or guilt over or whatever it might be, we've got to heal them within ourselves. We've got to forgive ourselves first. And I think this is part of that reinitiation of the magic. If we're carrying around that heavy load in our heart, how can we be magical when we're carrying that kind of burden? 3 Achmach gives us the opportunity to go within, to look within ourselves, to look within our home and forgive. To understand how to forgive ourselves, how to release ourselves from those burdens so that we can embrace our connection with the Mother Earth. From 3 Achmach, we then move into 4 Noach. So Noach, the Nawal of the mind, Noach, the Nawal of knowledge, the problem solver. And here we see it with the number 4, very, very down to earth. This is about encoding the information into physical form. Here we see the palace, which is an observatory again at the great city of Palenque. Now, Noor has the mind for things. It has the information. It has the knowledge for things. It also has the mind to put things together in a very clever way. And here, seeing it with the number 4 makes it very, very practical. This is about bringing things down to earth, about making things happening. It's about, I think, putting our plans into motion. Because Noor, yes, they can be theorists, but actually they really do tend to be rather practical in their way. And here we see Noor, if we could see it representing a plan or an idea or a solution, here we see it playing out into the physical through the 4. And so it's a great day to ground your plan into the world. Now, with the 4, there's still some development needed. It is the foundation for an idea. It is the foundation for a solution. There's still work to be done. There's maybe a little bit more than a sketch on the back of the newspaper or something like that. There's definitely 4 Noch is a great time to kind of get your corner stakes into position, as it were, to understand how or where things are going to sit. But it's a developmental step. The 4 brings support. The 4 brings stability to the idea. But from the foundation, we then still have to build the house on top of it. So it's using practical knowledge. The practicality of the 4 gives us this practical knowledge that helps us to understand how to bring our ideas into the world. As I said, it's not ready to be dressed up. It's not ready to be finished yet, but we got to start somewhere. We got to kind of like ground it into the world. 4 Noch is a great day to get your idea out like that. From 4 Noch, we then move into 5 Tihash. Tihash, the Nawal of the obsidian blade, of the healer and the warrior, the purifier, and the protector, the one who's here to cut away and to clean. And here we see this, of course, occurring during this Trecena of Ix, occurring during this time of looking after the Mother Earth and maybe looking after the shrines and the altars. Sometimes they're going to need some things cut back from them, maybe. Tihash, the purifier, the one who's cleaning things up. Maybe your local altars need cleaning. Maybe your local sacred sites have got a bit overgrown, or maybe worse, there's some litter on them or something like that. 5 Tihash is a great day to go look at cleaning them up. We have the 5, the one hand representing work, putting our energy into this clearance. And we see Tihash as representing purification, the warrior who cuts away the evil from the world, the surgeon who cuts away the disease from the world. We could see Tihash as the sculptor who brings out the divine from the mundane. But with all of them, this is their work. This is not something that they just wave a magic wand and it happens. This is something we need to put our energy into. And so for 5 Tihash, this is about putting our work into what it is that we want to purify. This is about creating or recreating possibly our own purity in this time of the potential to reconnect with the Mother Earth. We want to be pure when we're doing it. And maybe this is also kind of like cutting away things which have been maybe released through the program of forgiveness from the 3 Achmach Day that we went through. So, for me, I would say that 5, yes, it can represent work. Sometimes it can represent hard work. It's not easy. It doesn't just sort of like drop in our lap. But once we've gone through it, then probably kind of feel all the better for it. So 5 Tihash is a great day to be focusing on our healing work in order to reconnect with our magic, in order to reconnect with the Mother Earth. From 5 Tihash, we then move into 6 Kwok. Kwok representing the rain, representing the storm. And here we see Temple 33 at Tikal, which is the funerary temple of Siak Kawil II, who's also known as Storm Sky. So I felt this would be an appropriate temple to be showing on the storm day, and you can see just to the like the bottom, in the bottom right of the picture, you can see the stela and altar which is dedicated to him. So 6 Kwok. Kwok, the Nawal of the midwife, the Nawal of the rain, the one who is here to tell us what needs to be done to carry on the healing process, to help us through what we need to be helped through. But she's got a job to do. And as such, she needs to make sure that we get on with whatever it is that we need to get on with. She's not got time to be messing about, as it were. And so, as such, she can also come in a form of tough love. Now, we see this connected with the number 6, a number which can represent ultimate stability, and also a number that can represent the family. So Kwok we can also see as a very healing Nawal. And here this could represent the healing of the family. This could represent the healing that comes through family. And maybe it's through confronting some uncomfortable truths or something like that. Because Kwok is the one, she's, like I say, this is the tough love that tells us what we need to do in order to stabilize, in order to heal. So we can go forward with that. We can understand how to engage with it. 6 Kwok is a wonderful day for doing any healing work. It's a wonderful day to bring things forward. It's a wonderful day to bring stability to the rain, should it be needed. And here, of course, that 6 drawing on the heart of the sky and the heart of the earth to bring stability, to allow the new growth to happen. These are ideas behind the day, or of what we could practice on the day 6 Kwok to help us to reconnect with the earth. We then move into the day 7 Ahpu. Now, this I feel is a very interesting day because once again, as I may have mentioned before, we start to get these ideas about some of the characters who are within the Popol Vuh. And here we have the hero twins Freeze from El Mirador. This is, from what I remember, somewhere in about 2,200, 2,300 years old, somewhere around about there, showing Hunach Punish Balam Kiech swimming back through the underworld, having had their victory over Xibalba. Now, Hunahpu is actually carrying on his belt the head of Hunahpu. It's like bringing the new light, bringing the new sun to the upper world, bringing the light back to the world. The hero that is missing from this story is actually this day, 7 Ahpu, Wukub Ahpu, because when he went into the underworld, he was, just was never heard from again, went off in his own journey. He was but a boy, they said, if I remember correctly. Ahpu represents that hero's journey. It represents going into sometimes the underworld to go and confront our demons, to go and confront the lords of death. Because that's where we find our transformation. That's where we find our challenge. And Ahpu is the hero and following the hero's path. So we have to go into that underworld to go find it. But ultimately, Ahpu is very much about our heroic path. It's about our path to the sun. It's about our connection with the ancestors. And, I often look at it as, we don't just get connected through our name or something like that. We actually have to go and go through that process. We have to go and face the challenges which have been set for us to prove ourselves worthy of our connection with them, as it were, worthy of the title of hero. Now we see Ahpu there with the number 7. And the number 7 can represent choices. It's like standing on top of the pyramid, looking out over what's going on around you and understanding what choices you're going to make. Which way are you going to go? What are you going to decide upon? It can also be endings. And so it can be the end of some particular journey. It can represent the end of a heroic journey. It could represent the end of a journey that takes you so far along your spiritual path, but now it's coming to an end. And it's like, yeah, I know that I've mentioned before, kind of like you come to the end of the path and now it's time to choose what you're going to choose. Seven Arpu may well open up these choices on where is your spiritual journey going to take you next? Where does your soul want you to evolve to next? But in order to get there, it might mean the end of a path that you have been on, that you're already on. Okay, so yes, it can bring about some endings when it comes to particular spiritual paths, but of course it's asking us to choose the way forwards from there. And I think also Seven Arpu, kind of like there is something in there which is kind of like saying, right, it's the finalization of the heroes, the end of the challenges in some way. Of course, that means that new challenges are coming along as well, but it's like, right, okay, we made it. We can have sort of 20 days of celebration before one Arpu comes along. We start a new hero's journey or however it might be. But 7 Arpu is very strongly asking us to define and choose our spiritual path. From 7 Arpu, we then move into 8 Imosh, and here we see a picture from the North Acropolis at Yashha. Yashha meaning blue-green water. It's got a beautiful great lake right next to it. Apparently, Yashha is one of the few Maya sites which actually still has its original name. Now, of course, that blue-green lake is the reason why I'm using this particular picture on this day of 8 Imosh. Imosh representing the water, representing our connection with the lakes and the oceans, and the connection with ourselves. We're 60-70% water. We are water beings. 8 Imosh is the day of ceremony for water, the 8 being the ceremonial day. And, I see that 8 representing wholeness, and this is water in its wholeness, not just as a lake, not just as an ocean, not just as a sea, but as the clouds, as the water vapor that we emit with our breath, as the dew which lands on the flowers, the trees, the grass. It is water in all its varied forms, and it is certainly something to celebrate. The day 8 Imosh is a wonderful day, as I said, for a water ceremony, and particularly maybe if there is a sacred body of water, this would be even more important to connect with it. And of course, all of this beautiful greenness that we see in the picture, this is the combination of water with the power of Mother Earth. So it's an integral part, a very important part. We can also see Imosh as representing the dream. It's a great day to be connected to your dream, a great day to spend by water, maybe take yourself out of the hustle and bustle of the community and go to a watery space to make ceremony and remember your own dreams. From 8 Imosh, we then move into 9 Ix, and here, well, Tikal means the place of the voices. It's not its original name. Yakutul is its original name. But here we are in the place of the voices with the day 9 Ik, the breath of life. Ik representing the wind, but also representing the divine wind within our lungs. Ik representing our ability to communicate. Ik representing our voice. And here We see it connected with the number 9, representing the feminine, representing the women, and representing life itself. So there are some easy ways to express 9 One could be as the breath of life. One could be as the voice of the women. This might be a fantastic day for the women to speak whichever way they might need to speak, get out what might need to be vocalized. It's also a day to give thanks for the very breath of life itself, to give thanks for our lungs, to give thanks for our ability to breathe life into things. Ik, in its connection with the words, here we are seeing this within the Ish Trecena, and I often think about the way that, let's say, I've talked about the Ish Trecena being about our connection with our magic, and I feel that our magic is expressed through our words. That's where the manifestation comes from. And so this is a great day to be breathing life into what you're doing at the altars, to be breathing life into your connection with the Mother Earth, to be using the right words to bring that life forwards. From 9 Ik, we then move into 10 Akabal. So here we are on this slide before dawn. I think this was somewhere around about 5 a.m., if I remember rightly, in the temple called El Tigre. We were up there watching the Milky Way rise over Ladanta. And then we were treated to this triangle between Venus, the bright star, as it were, a bright planet right above the pyramid, the crescent moon, and then just above the letter M, that's Mars up there. So we had Venus, Mars, and the moon all rising over this pyramid in the dawn, in the twilight. So I felt this would be a good way to celebrate this day of 10 Akabal. Akabal representing the twilight, representing the conception of the day, representing the new day coming forwards. Akabal representing the bridge between the world, between the night and the day, so this halfway point. We can see Akabal as representing bringing new concepts into the world, and here we see it with the number 10, representing agreements, representing society, representing community, coming together, helping each other out. Now, I often think how Akabal, we're just bringing things to light. We haven't seen it all yet. We still have some development work, that's for sure, to do on the Akabal days. And sometimes we do try and go it alone, but here with the number 10, it's kind of suggesting about grouping together with your friends, your family, your neighbors, get some help on the new concepts that you want to bring into the world. It's like if we're thinking about looking after our altars now, shrines, if we're thinking about looking after Mother Earth and connecting with her, then sometimes we're going to need more hands to make sure that we can do a proper job. 10 Akabal is a great day to get new concepts for community out there and new concepts out into the community. This is a great way to develop those things, to take those concepts and share them around, share the responsibility around, so that we can all cooperate in order to bring those concepts into the world. From 10 Akabal, we then move to 11 Cat. So Cat, the net. And here, I often talk about cat days being decluttering days, having a look and seeing what you want to hold on to and what you want to let go of. And here on the day 11 Cat, well, it might be quite a bind. Cat represents that binding. It can represent our attachment to all sorts of things, and that number 11 is exactly that. So many things that we may find that we're attached to. It's kind of like when you realize that you'd forgotten to cancel the, kind of like your subscription to this thing or whatever it was. We're still attached to all these things. the 11 days, I often think these are days on which we kind of like, we need to allow ourselves, if we want to get the productivity and the creativity from the 11, we allow our intuition to guide us on the 11 days. And here we are with the 11 cat asking, okay, like, how can our intuition help us? How can it guide us to understand how to release ourselves from things which have bound us? It may well be, kind of like the other side of that is if you have space in your net, if you're carrying a, kind of like a less full net, then 11 cat could be a gathering day. But what are you going to gather? Well, it might seem like a bunch of random objects or ideas, because cat is bringing them together in the net, but the 11 is taking you all over the place. And you might look in your bag and think that everything that you're carrying seems to be rather mismatched. But the 11 doesn't do it without a plan, as it were. There's something which will come out of that 11 cat, but it won't emerge immediately. It needs a little bit of time to work out how all the pieces are supposed to fit together. So in the meantime, kind of like if you start ending up collecting random things on an 11 cat day, don't be too concerned. They may be ingredients which are necessary later on. From 11 cat, we move into 12 can. So there's a slightly earlier picture from the top of the El Tigre pyramid where we were watching the Milky Way rise over the jungles of Petén. And the Milky Way could be seen as cosmic serpent. Here we see the Nawal 12 can. So can, the Nawal of the serpent, and of course the El Mirador site is the capital city of the kingdom of Can, the Serpent Kingdom. Can is seen as wisdom and power. And here we see it with the number 12. The number 12 representing gathering, bringing together all of our life's experience into one place. What life experience are we talking about? The life experience that brings wisdom. A life experience that empowers. I often think about how the 12 could be seen as writing your autobiography. And here on 12 can, well, what are we using that autobiography for? To empower others. Can is often seen as the Nawal of the teacher, that those who share their wisdom for the empowerment of others. And here we see it with number 12. This is all the teacher's expertise being put into empowering the other. So it's a strong day. It's a challenging day. It's a great day to be, writing down your wisdom in order to pass to others. It could be a great day also to be sort of finishing something off like that. The can energy requires a lot of training in order to make sure that we're using it in a way that we'll be happy with later on. And here it would suggest that we use our life experience to do that. We can also see Can as helping us to see through illusions. And it may be that, kind of like we look back on what we've experienced through our life. And that helps us to see through to the truth of matters through any illusions which may be put out towards us. And finally, we finish up on the day 13 Kamei. So here is one of the pyramids. It's a twin pyramid complex at a group called La Muerta, which is a satellite of El Mirador. This one's actually very much one of my favorite little pyramids. There's something very, very special about this place. And so I thought it would be nice to be using this picture to represent the day 13 Kamei. So we have something very special on this day. Kamei representing the ancestors, also representing spirit, representing challenges as well, overcoming our challenges and spiritual transformation. The soul alchemist, as I like to call it. And here combined with the number 13, representing the ancestors and spirit. So it's kind of like ancestors and ancestors. 13 days are often very good days to be making divination on. And here we see, kind of like contact from the ancestors. This is a day on which I feel that the veils are very, very thin. It's a fantastic day for divination, to ask whatever might be needed for advice from your ancestors. It could also be a very good day to visit a medium or something like that, somebody who's going to get in touch with the spirit on the other side. But that said, the 13 Kame is such a strong day. It wouldn't surprise me if those messages came through loud and clear anyway. Now, Kame is also a day about facing our fears, and here it's cranked right up to 13. And so, you may find that there's like some kind of form of spirit almost messing with us, saying, "Oh, yeah, you're over that, are you? Well, how about this?" 13 Kame can be a very, very powerful day, but it's also a very powerful day to remember that whatever fears we're facing, our contact with our ancestors can help us to get through them. And so, they're there waiting. As I say, I see 13 Kame as being a day on which the veil is very thin. So if we do get challenged by something that we fear, getting connected with our ancestors may well be a wonderful course of action on that day. So there we have it. That's my slideshow for the Trecena of Ix. I hope that you've enjoyed that. And I look forward to seeing you again in 13 days' time for the Trecena of Ix. Thank you.